Shalom, 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 shalom. First and foremost, giving infinite praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Wachakudash. Giving double honors to our apostles, elders of Great Millstone, and shalom and salutation to all you sincere Akim across the four winds, pushing this truth with sincerity of heart. I'm your fellow servant, Kasamagan from the DC camp, coming at you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Hakudash, if you the elect. This is going to be a quick video, and it's basically just, admonishing, of course, the nation of Israel, primarily, the women of Israel, man, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, beginning with the so-called black women, man. It's outrageous, some of the things that's going on out here. And I just wanted to touch quickly on the BET award that happened. I didn't watch it because, I just don't got time to, to watch that kind of nonsense. But of course, they had highlights, and they had clips of some of the debauchery, outrageous behavior that took place in this year's BET award. And that was what's that, June 5th, something like that. So it was pretty awful. And right here is going to be a little clip of one of the degenerates, one of the degenerates that highlighted the night. I believe her name is Sexy Red, something like that. And it's a quick clip. I got it off the page of the Angry Man. I mean, for brothers that know, if you know, the Angry Man. It's a cool channel, man. Like if you want to catch up with some of the manosphere dudes, he's one of the manosphere dudes on YouTube. So this is one of his short clips. All right, so it's definitely some good stuff that he be putting up, and I'm pretty sure he knows he's an Israelite. But it is what it is. All right, so let's play like a quick little clip of this outrageous behavior that took place. All right, the shameful behavior that took place. As you see right here, and that's the Angry Man right there. But yeah, just focus on this female. Her name, of course. Listen, I'm gonna focus on her primarily, but she's a representation of what's really going on in the so-called community, primarily the so-called black community. It's a lot of it's a lot of outrageous and shameful behavior. As you see, male and females, it's not just the females. The problem is the females, right? The so-called black woman, the Israelite woman, she's leading the nations, and she's led the nation of Israel into absolute desolation and decay. All right. So-called Negroes, I mean, our so-called community is absolutely destroyed. Why? Because we're led by women. So when you see these emotional behaviors and they cannot be controlled, right? So now you see why the majority of the Israelite men are completely destroyed. All right, because the majority of Israelite men, primarily begin with the tribe of Judah, Benjamin and Levi, in America, come from single mother homes. All right, so they have single mother, they have female behaviors. All right, irrational behaviors. Now this chick right here, I think her name is Sexy Red, and I guess she got called out, for doing that nonsense that she did. She got called out, and it's crazy because she got called out by, other 2/3. Like the behavior is so bad that, amongst the 2/3, right? If you know the 2/3, it goes back to the scriptures. The scripture tells you in Zechariah, that 2/3 are going to be they're going to be destroyed. All right. They're going to go down with the ship. They're going to be destroyed with the great whore, Babylon the Great, aka the United States of America. But even amongst them, some of them's behaviors are so bad that even some of them, are having a hard time, dealing with accepting it, So this is how bad it's become. Now, so she got called out, and this is what she said. It says, Sexy Red says she's going to keep being herself. So she, she's on the whole spirit of, she got the Jezebel spirit, which means she's gonna be rebellious, and she's not gonna repent. She's not gonna turn back. She's going down with the ship. So, and it's not just her; it's also the males. All right. So the majority of so-called black men in the United States are going to be put to death, right along with the majority of so-called black women. That's according to the Bible, because of statements like this. She clearly, boldly stated that she's going to keep being herself, and she's not the only one. All these other chicks, all those hyenas that you saw, this is the majority of our people right now. All right, and then the males, you see that dude right there, that weirdo with all that ice on his neck and his hand. Those weirdos, right? The worst of us happens to be the majority of us. All right, that's the reason why, man. Listen, we ain't here to save black like ISUBK talking about. We here to fix blacks and Hispanics. That's not the point. The Lord talked about a specific elect men, women, and children that will fear Yahweh Shemel Shah, listen to the prophets, and get themselves ready as the world is ending. All right. So it says with a breakthrough record discussing the color of a genitalia. Right, because that's what the music's all about, right? It says Sexy Red hopes her rival fame has forged a path to long-term stardom. While speaking with Vibe on the 2023 BET Award red carpet, the hood's hottest princess discussed her career journey from St. Louis to Billboard charts. F what she got to say, man. Look at this nonsense, all right? Like, look at her, man. This is basically, in a nutshell, right? This is beginning with the tribe of Judah, so-called African American, on down to so-called Haitians, because they all, you have Judah, you have Benjamin in the mix that also does have the same behaviors, and you also have so-called Haitians, Levites, also male and females also have the same behavior. All right, so Judah will start doing some stupid shit, and then Benjamin and Levi will follow suit with the stupid shit. All right. So this is the quintessential, basically, image of the nation of Israel now. They're supposed to be the greatest people, all right, in the history of humankind. The Israelites, the Jews, all right, the Israelite male and the Israelite female. And look at what they look at. This is who our people have become in the end of the world. Right. This is quintessential what our people have become in the end of the world. All right, so now let's read some of the lyrics, man. I mean, absolutely just disgusting. What's that goddamn? I read something earlier, man. It was bad. I think it's Pound Town. I think so. Damn, yeah, I think that's what it is. All right, so I'm gonna read this. It says. No, is that it? Before rap stuff, no. There's a lyrical content that was so bad. Yeah, let me see. I had it earlier too. Oof. All right, so let me read this. It says the recording artist also talked about her surprise when the aforementioned track started to gain traction on TikTok. I was shocked. Yay, I didn't think it was going to take off how it did. Share the slut me out rhymer. So, slut me out. Man, when I made it, I was like, this hard. I think this the one. And some of my people was like, no, this ain't it. This isn't it. This ain't serious. You playing. Yeah, shit, man. Those are people that still had, they were like, oh, this is bad. But it's ended up blowing up because, the majority of our people are absolutely gone. All right. Oh man, this is crazy. Let me see. Yeah, there was some lyrical. Well, this is another thing she said. She said, "I just be myself. I really don't care what nobody think." There you go. The rebellious nature of the Israelite man and the Israelite woman. People, they try to bully people. And this is a nigga woman talking about. But listen, there is no bigger bully in the so-called black community like the so-called black woman, the Israelite woman. She's the number one bully in the black community. I mean, just recently, a dude was being basically bullied. He was being verbally bullied. All right, this Jake, the so-called black man, was what was that? Chicago was being verbally bullied by this black woman, which her last name is Hood, by the way. And then he got emotional, right? He got emotional and lost his cool, and punched in the face, which he shouldn't have done. He shouldn't have did that, because in America you can't. It's hard to get away with. Primarily, it's very hard to get away. It's almost impossible to get away with correcting black women. All right, you can't correct the women in your own household. You can't correct your girlfriend. You can't correct your mother. You can't correct your sister. So you not gonna have the ability to correct a random so-called black woman, Israelite woman. So he punched in the face, and the 14-year-old, the son, saying basically, popped him and killed him. And then the United States government, and primarily the state, I'm not gonna say the United States, the state of Chicago, decided that, hey, this is the precedent now. So if you yell at a black woman, she might slap you in the face, or you push her, you shove her, or whatever, and it might get, if it gets physical between you and a black woman, you're liable. The state of Chicago says, yeah, you should die. So you have that you have that going on, right? It says, but she's talking about people, they try to bully people. It said you never supposed to let nobody make you feel uncomfortable with being your true self. For real, no matter what you want to dress, no matter what you want to dress, do what you do. No matter what you want to dress, do what you do. All right. So that's the mentality, right? That's the mentality of our people right now. All right. Her name is Sexy Red. Absolutely disgusting behavior. So let's go to the scriptures. This is Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 21. It says, yet I have planted thee a noble vine, holy, a right seed. How then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Right. So this is a degenerate plant. And the Lord is speaking to the nation of Israel. All right. And these two individuals are a degenerate plant. All right. This is degeneracy. All right. And as you see, she got a stack of money in her hand, because, again, when you go back into the history of the mentality of the 2/3, idol worship, worshiping other gods, they always believe will lead them to agricultural wealth, right? In any type of wealth. And the gift has always destroyed the heart of the 2/3. All right. So, I mean, it's listen, it's so obvious. It's so obvious that we're the children of Israel, for better or worse. This is so obvious that we're the children of Israel. It says, now let me read a different, I'm going to read a different, translation, or not translation. Yeah. A biblical version. Now, this one really stood out. This is on the NET, right? It says, I planted you in the land like a special vine of the very best stock. So the nation of Israel, we supposed to be the very best stock. All right. It says, why in the world have you turned into something like a wild vine that produces rotten, foul smelling grapes? All right. All right. These two niggas right here are rotten, smelling, foul grapes, man. All right. That's why the Heavenly Father said in Ezra that he's kept them a cluster of a grape. All right. There's a small cluster, the 1/3, the elect, that are going to be preserved from the destruction, because people like this, the woman says, this thing, I might even call a woman, that thing Justin Red said, she's going to keep doing her. And then on the right side, you got that, and this is an old nigga too. He still has a boyish mentality. He's not going to check her. If anything, he's going to want to eat off of her. All right. So the man, and really at the end of the day, the Israelite man is the biggest to blame, because he's supposed to check her. But see, he only cares about money, and he doesn't mind the fact that she's being defiled, by the system and by enemy, Edom, Esau, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, because he sets up the stage, but you still got to fall for it. You still got to bite the cheese. Esau's going to put the poison in front of you, but you still got to go out there and eat the poison. All right. And the Israelite man is eating the poison, and the Israelite woman definitely eating the poison. I mean, this is, it's outrageous behavior. So let's look at the word degenerate, because, you're talking about degeneracy and the type of behavior that's going on right now amongst our people. It says having lost or suffered impairment to the qualities proper to the race of kind. All right, you talking about your race and your kind. There's a level, there's a standard that's supposed to be established. All right. And then once you fall from that standard, you've lost the what? You lost the qualities proper to the race of kind. All right. You're supposed to be outcasted. You're supposed to be shamed. And according to the sin that you committed, you're supposed to be put to death. All right. That chick, man, and all these females, man, they're supposed to be shamed. These niggas out here that's eating off of this shit, they're supposed to be shamed and cast away and put to death. But we can't do this in this society because we're slaves. We have birth certificates. We have Social Security. We're owned by the Edomites, the so-called white man. So he won't let us. That's another thing. That's how you know Esau's the devil. Because if the righteous men of Israel rose up right now and said, you know what? We're going to go on a slaughtering spree of the hood niggas, the street niggas, the scammy niggas, the adulterous niggas. We're going to go into a slaughter spree. Esau won't let it happen. Because he needs those characters, right? He needs those bad apples, those foul grapes to corrode and to be a cancer, to poison the rest of the whole cluster. That's the reason why there's guys out here, career criminals, but they still get released. And then a dude who ain't never committed a crime, he in the joint doing 10 years for lack of child support. You know what I'm saying? Because he can't pay child support. The biggest thugs and all, they don't get put on child support in the so-called community. But brothers that they're trying to be decent, they're the one get put on child support. So you get punished for trying to be a decent Israelite in captivity, but then you get rewarded for being a wicked nigga. All right. It says to be inferior to one's ancestors, to become unlike one's race or kind, fall from ancestral quality. All right. So now let's get to Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy power. The Lord thy power has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So we're supposed to be special. We're not supposed to behave like this. Male or females, not supposed to behave like this. But since the Israelite man has had his head stuck in the Israelite woman's ass, so now, the whole nation has just been on a downward slope. Thank God, the Heavenly Father sent his only begotten Son, Yahushua HaMashiach, whom the world has ignorantly known as Jesus Christ. All right, his name is Yahushua, the anointed. He was hung on the cross so that the elect men, women, and children, the 1/3, 144,000, could be separated, removed from the 2/3, which are the majority of Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And this is the thing. If you out there crying and losing your mind and asking God why he's killing our people, because that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a time very soon when the Most High is going to start taking Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans out in mass numbers. Okay, and whether it be your family member, but listen, man, the Most High is going to get rid of niggas, spicks, and wetbacks. Don't be out here foolishly crying, all right, foolishly being bitter, foolishly getting upset, all right, because this is time. It's time for these people to get dealt with, man. It's time for the wicked Negro to get dealt with. It's time for the wicked nigger woman to get dealt with, man. All right, and the Lord is going to do that. This is Leviticus 26 and 45, speaking of the standard. It says, but I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Egypt in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their power. I am the Lord. You think the Most High made a covenant? The Most High made a covenant with these idiots? When the Most High made a covenant, the agreement that we would be the special people above all the nation. You think that he made a covenant with these two idiots right here, man? These two degenerates? You think this is what the Heavenly Father always wanted Israel to be, man? Come on, man. Look at the chicks. It's disgusting, man. And the nigga too. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he a scamming, low-life, grimy nigga. Because he looks at a woman of his nation right there defiling herself, and he doesn't give two shits. And he's hiding behind dark shades because he know he's a grimy, low-life nigga. You know? I'm mad. Listen, I'm upset at the behavior of our women, but I'm really more upset at the lack of manhood and the lack of courage, the lack of assertiveness of the Israelite man has over the Israelite woman. The fact that we can't control our women, and we call ourselves men. Now, I would say it's really impossible. Because you got to at least try. Jake ain't even trying. But it's impossible to control our women fully because our women really don't belong to us right now. They belong to the man who has us captive, which is Edom Esau. That's the reason why he set up a lot of organizations and to oppress and to help her oppress us. Because the black women, Hispanic women, Native American women in 2023, they all belong to the white man for a very long time. We just rent these women to procreate and breed more slaves. All right, that's the only thing. So again, I'm saying this because I understand the concept of war and what happens to the losers in war. All right, Leviticus 26:46, it says, "These are the statutes and judgment and laws which the Lord made between him and the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses." So we were given laws, statutes, commandments, on how to behave. Though that was supposed to have us be separate from the heathens. Now there's a quote, all right, from I think his name is Jawaharlal Nehru. And he said, "You can tell the condition of a nation by looking at the status of its women." All right, let me read that again. You can tell the condition of a nation by looking at the status of its women. So when your women, right, when your women look like this, do you think that your nation is winning? You think that niggas is winning? You think they're Hispanics? Because Hispanics, northern tribes, their women, a lot of their women do the same thing. The Puerto Rican women doing the same thing. They're following right after Judah. The Native American, the same thing. The ones that are exposed to to the city, the ones that are in the city, it's kind of different a little bit because the ones in the res, they got their own issues, but the ones that leave the res and are exposed and come to the big cities, man, they ain't no different. So when your women look like this, man, you already know where your nation is. That's why we're at the very bottom, man. All right, we're at the very bottom. It's tough. Right, listen, it's tough, man. It's tough. This is Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. It says, "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy path." So the women rule over us. And that's the reason why we can't check them. We can't check them, man. I mean, if you try to check them, you can get killed. Like the Negro over there in Chicago, he tried to check that woman. Again, I don't think he should have went as far as he did. I think it's pointless to argue with women first and foremost. You shouldn't be arguing with women because women are irrational, and women, you got to understand, women are extremely socially aware. A woman would not argue with you if you're one-on-one in the elevator. You have to know how women move. Women do stupid shit to men, but before they do that, they've already assessed their surroundings. They already know how many people are there. They already assess potential Captain Saberholes, simps, all that. They've already assessed their surroundings. Then they'll do. I know because I have. I work in an environment where I see that. I see that all the time. I've seen women act a certain way because they saw me and I was there, and they started mouthing off at whoever they were mouthing off, thinking that I was a Captain Saberhole, which she got lucky because I ain't. You know what I'm saying? If he started putting a Hulk smash on it, I would have just stepped back and, and watched the show. But Other than that, man, I'm like, man, listen, you have to be aware of what's going on. So I don't agree with, you going out there, because you can't win that type of war, man. I mean, Esau has to be taken down. That's the response. Esau has to be taken down, man. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 16. And look at the subtitle. It says Judah's women denounced. All right, and it starts with the Judah woman, man. It's just the behavior is atrocious. It says, moreover, the Lord saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go and making and tinkling with their feet. All right, and that's what she was doing. She was doing that crazy dance. I mean, listen, man. You talking about haughty behavior. Look, it says, let me see. No, that ain't it. What's that? All right, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 18. It said, 3 verse 17. It says, therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord would discover their secret parts. So it's talking about smiting a scab, all right, meaning the inability, the scalp. All right, the Most High would basically plague the scalp of black women. That's the reason why you see her hair. Her hair is straight up weave, and then she's got those taped in baby hair, right? So this is taped in baby hair, which is again shameful behavior. The hair on her head, it's not hers, as we know. We've known that. Why? Because her scalp has been plagued by the Heavenly Father. Why? Because of her rebellious behavior. All right. And then it says, I would discover her secret parts. Look at how naked she is in the open. There's nothing wrong with a woman dressing like that if she is your woman and if she's in a house and it's you and your woman. She can dress however the F she wants, as long as you're in a house, you and your confinement of your house, your bedroom, whatever. All right. But she should not be dressing like that outside. She should not be dressing like that outside at all. You know what I'm saying? And the tattoos, of course, is against the laws. You're not supposed to be tatted. That's against the law, statutes, and commandments. So and then look at the feet, right? Look at the ornaments in the feet. Now let's go back to Isaiah chapter 3, verse 18. It says, in that day, the Lord would take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet. All right. And their coals and their round tires shall, in their round tires like the moon, like big old fucking, I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty sure it's talking about them big old fucking hoop hearings that they have, because you know what they say, the bigger the hoop hearing, the bigger the whore. Let me see, Bible. Let me see, bam. There you go, right? NIV. And that day, the Lord would snatch away their finery, the bangles, their headbands, and crescent necklaces. All right. So it's talking about the big old fucking hoop rings and crazy ass earrings that these women. When you see a woman with big old, crazy ass earrings, big old, well, she doesn't have one. But if you see that normally, like this chick with the blue hair, she got them big old hoop earrings. So, and then she got the tattoos, she got the secret parts exposed. This is, again, another proof that we are indeed the children of Israel. Now, prophecy stated that they will act like that, and that's going to lead to them being absolutely destroyed. All right. The majority of the Israelite women are going to die horrible deaths too, man. It's going to be so bad, even the simps won't be able to help them. Because they're gonna die too. I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Now let me close this, man. This is the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 25, and I'm gonna start at man, Silver really went hard on this one. I'm gonna hit a couple of them. 25 and 13. Give me any plague, but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness, but the wickedness of a woman. Let me go down to 16. I had rather dwell with a lion and a dragon, than to keep house with a wicked woman. And a lot of you wicked niggas out here, a lot of you niggas out here laying down with women that's stabbing you and shooting you and shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. It's just, hey, two-thirds are made for each other, man. That's why I used to wonder why certain females be like, man, how come we ain't really match like that? Because we don't. You know what I'm saying? Listen, there's a number that, like, two-third males match with the two-third females. You know what I'm saying? And when you trying to link up with two-third females, man, it's always fucking weird. It's weird, man. It just doesn't really work. It doesn't work, actually. It says, and hopefully I'm a party elect, hopefully we're a party elect, but, so far, so good. Now, verse 17, the wickedness of a woman changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Yeah, man, that's sexy red. She has a dark countenance. I can't be around a woman like that for more than 30 minutes, man. 30 minutes tops, maybe 20 minutes. And after that, man, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Because who knows what's going on, man? You work around. She's got a deaf angel. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, nah. It says, her husband shall sit amongst his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let her portion of a sinner fall upon her. Yeah. That's the reason why a lot of niggas get hemmed up by these black women, because majority of Negroes are wicked, so they are rewarded with women that's gonna destroy their lives. Yeah. Now, all right. So let me jump down to 23. It says, a wicked woman abateth the courage, right, maketh a heavy countenance, and a wounded heart, right. That's why the courage of the Israelite man to stand up and fight against Esau is not there. For the most part, the Israelite man is very afraid. Even the biggest street thug is very, very afraid of the white man. Part of the reason is because of the wickedness of his woman. Our women were bred, and they were basically trained to instill the fear of the white man through the slavery. Because every time he tried to rebel, Esau made sure to kill, grape, and do all kinds of craziness to us in front of our women. So he made our women teach us as children to fear him, so that we wouldn't usurp his authority, basically. For 25, give the water no passage, neither a wicked women liberty to God abroad. All right, so you can't. Women are not supposed to be liberated. All right, and then of course, if she go not as thou wouldest have, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Yeah, let her go. Why? Because Micah 7:10, it says, then she, right, the Israelite woman, and then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Right. The reason why women are acting like this, and also the Israelite men that are playing right along with this wickedness, because they believe that the so-called white man is God. So they're like, well, as long as he's ruling and he has all these organizations, he has child support, family court, the Fed, CIA, and he's able to put you in jail. The Israelite woman is not stupid. She sees that her man has no chance against the so-called white man on the head up, basically. So she's gonna bow to the greater power. In her eyes, the greater power is the so-called white man, because women are not faithful, so they can't just sit there and hope. They're not gonna sit there and get their ass kicked with you, and they don't see the hope of you ever winning. That's why the majority of women they don't see that hope, so they just gonna sell out. They're gonna do what they do. But you have a few sisters that the Most High put a spirit on them to follow us. But even they themselves, they're gonna be tried in these days, to see if they're really about their life. Because every man's work is gonna be tried. Every man and female's work is gonna be tried. Micah 7:10, it says, then she that's my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Yeah. She's gonna get stumped out, and that's why we're gonna behold. And that's what I was saying. I was like, hey, well, listen, this black woman was. The minute she saw me at that particular job where I was at, she started mouthing off to this dude, hoping that if he goes off, I'm gonna step in between and put my life on the line for a random whore. Not gonna do that. Like I said, she got lucky because I was just gonna sit back and behold as she gets stumped. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's gonna happen in the upcoming months and maybe a few years as this economy collapses and society collapses. Feminism is gonna get stumped out of these women, man. I mean, and that's biblical prophecy. All right. So now let's wrap this up with let's go. I got two more. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and 25. It says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefast will fear the Lord. All right. So that's a duality right there. Sexy Red or whatever her name is. Like she said, what's the statement that she made, man? She made a statement. What did she say? This shameful woman. She said she's going to keep being herself. So the scriptures say, hey, well, since you have no shame, right? A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. So what is a female dog? A bitch, right? And hey, in her lyrics, she calls herself a whole bunch of bitches. So you calling her a bitch doesn't even mean nothing because she calls herself in her own lyrics a whole bunch of bitches. So come on, man. But I'm gonna close up with this, man, because at the end of the day, we gotta close up with some positivity through the spirit, because you have 2/3 women that's gonna die horrible deaths, but you also have elect Israelite women that are going to be delivered, that are going to survive. All right, there's hope. There's a little bit of hope out there, man. Isaiah 4:2, it says, in that day shall the branch of the Lord be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. All right, and it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy. All right. Even everyone that is written among the living in Jerusalem. Right, the men and women that are whose names are written in the book of life. Those are the ones that's going to be delivered when the Lord shows up with his chariots, so-called UFOs, to deliver that number. All right. Verse 4, when the Lord shall have washed away the filth of the daughters of Zion, right, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. That's how the Lord is going to deal with individuals such as Sexy Red, man, and all these females that are degenerates, male and females. The Lord's going to deal with you wicked Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans with the spirit of judgment, which is going to show itself in this form of burning. Thermonuclear missiles is how you niggas is going out, man. And praise be the Lord, Yahweh Shah, for that. Now, this is that's all I had for the day. Lord willing, you were edified as I was. It's very sad what's going on, but this is the road to the kingdom. The rotten apples, the foul smelling grapes, man, they gotta be burned. All right, this stuff says the scriptures. So with that, I'm gonna say Kal Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahshua Ba'Hashem Luchakwadash, giving double honors to our apostles, elders, a great millstone, and Shalom and salutation. The all you sins say Akim across the four winds, and the few sisters. The few sisters that are hanging in and fighting the temptations to be a whore. Continue to do what you got to do. Continue to be faithful. Continue to listen to the men of the Lord. All right. And the Lord will take care of you. Hey, Barakatay Ho, Barakatay Shah, Barakatay Ho, Bashman Shah, Bashman Kadash, because I'm down from the DC camp. Shalom.